The movie begins with a woman, Lila, waking up in a vehicle parked at a gas station convenience store. She is soon joined by her boyfriend, Michael. He informs her that the boys are inside buying more beer. There is a notice in the filling station that says a couple was found murdered in an RV. This group of 7, Michael, Lila, TJ, Claire, Lex, Rose, and Guy, are traveling to their friend Matt's cabin on vacation. They take a brief break and play for a while before continuing their journey. It gets dark while on the road and they begin to contemplate if Michael had taken the wrong route. They almost hit someone, but Michael redirects the car at the last minute and avoids the collision. Soon, the car breaks down and they have to continue their journey on foot. They come across a rainbow at night, which Lex nicknames the Devil Rainbow. They arrive at the house but are surprised to find no one in the cabin. They get inside and find a note addressed to TJ, Lex, and Claire, telling them to wait for them. They assume the note was written by Matt and was presumed to be the right house. They move into the house and the lights begin to flicker. Matthew, accompanied by TJ, goes out to rectify the problem. They discover that the house was being powered by a generator and was low on gas. They refill the gas with a can they find nearby. All 7 of them gather in the parlor as Claire brings out a bottle of wine and proposes a toast for just finishing college and getting to the cabin alive. They all drink and cheer. Guy gets a feeling that someone is outside and alerts them. Soon, they hear a knock on the door. Michael, TJ, and Guy go out to check it, and they are relieved to find no one there. They find a pine cone near the door and they assume it's a raccoon. The guys return inside, leaving Michael alone outside. He carries the gas can and keeps it beside the generator. He looks disturbed when he returns to the house and goes straight to bed. Meanwhile, the owners of the cabin, Matt and Sarah, do the deed in a camper van. Unknown to them, they are being watched. Soon after, Matt comes out of the van, where he is immediately attacked and stabbed by an unknown person. Sarah sees this and screams. She too is then attacked. In the morning, Rose confronts Michael about seeing him walking around at night, but Michael denies being out. TJ comes in and takes the whole group with him to visit an old abandoned mining site. They all go with torches. Lex and Rose separate from the group, wondering about the mine site together. The group decides to head back to the opening and look for Lex and Rose. They split up into 2 groups and begin their search. They find a safe room in the mine where the workers would hide in case it collapsed. Michael enters the room where he sees the writing on the wall which read, "This is the first time." TJ and Guy lock Michael inside the room. This makes Michael panic. Meanwhile, Rose tells Lex that they are being followed, and they pick up the pace. Lila reaches out and tries to help open the door, but she is unable to. TJ and Guy begin struggling to open the door, and it pays off after a while. Elsewhere, Lex gets separated from Rose. Rose sees blood on the floor and becomes more frightened as she runs into a room where she feels a hand grab her legs. She screams and rushes out of the room, catching up with the group. Lex soon joins them, and they return to the cabin. The boys are worried about Rose, and Lex tells them he had given her some mushrooms before entering the mine, and that makes them relieved. Michael returns to take his antipsychotic medicine from the van. He is accompanied by Lila. On the way, he asks Lila, would the guys ever hurt him? She tells him it was a joke and that they wouldn't actually harm him. The couple gets to the van and find the door open. Michael tries to start the car, but it doesn't start, and Lila calls Michael's attention to the bloodstains all around the van's bonnet. They think they had hit an animal on the way. Lila warns Michael not to tell the guys, and they head back to the cabin. The group collectively decides to stay one more day, waiting for the arrival of the owners of the house, Matt and Sarah. Later that day, Rose starts to see things that her friends can't see. She sits outside and she sees visions of her friends covered in blood and near death, running towards her. She rushes back into the cabin, screaming. Soon, she begins seeing things normally again, and she is comfortable with Lila and Claire. Lila, Claire, and Guy go for a swim, leaving Michael all alone to take care of Rose. Lex returns to the mine in search of his wallet and is accompanied by TJ. While exploring the mine, they find 3 bodies that all look too familiar. Frightened, TJ makes a run for it back to the cabin. On getting there, he narrates what he had witnessed to his friends. Guy is in disbelief and tells them to accompany him to see it with his own eyes. They return to the cabin, where Rose begins to act out after having a dream. They are worried about her as she lays helpless on the floor. TJ and Lex decide to go back to the mine and investigate further. They are surprised to find a second Claire locked in a room. She tells them Michael locked her in. Lex pleads with TJ that the Claire he knows and loves is back in the cabin. He persuades him not to take her back along with them, and he is successful. Lex and TJ return to the cabin, and they inform everyone except Michael and the sick Rose about what they had witnessed. Claire agrees with their reason for not bringing the other her back. Lex continues to narrate what the other Claire said to them. Despite Lila's protests, the decision to lock Michael up overnight was finalized when Claire says she didn't want him in the house. Michael willingly accepts it as his fate. They put him inside one of the safe rooms of the mine. However, Michael escapes from the cell. They discover this and begin to chase Michael through the mine. Michael causes Lex to fall through a crack, leading to his death. He also causes the death of TJ and locks Claire in a cell with the other Claire. Back at the cabin, Rose dies, and Lila and Guy are left in shock. Guy and Lila decide to leave the cabin. They leave the note addressed to TJ, Lex, and Claire. The note was short and tells them to wait there for them. They head to the main road where their van broke down. Guy sees a van coming and tries to wave it down, and he is almost hit. The vehicle turns and hits Lila. Oddly enough, this vehicle was theirs, reliving the previous day. Guy is now aware that they are stuck in a time loop. He turns to Lila and promises to break the cycle, freeing them from the curse. Guy proceeds to the van and grabs bottled water and drinks it. He then returns to the cabin to warn the others and break the loop. Guy gets to the door, but before he can get an answer, he is stopped by Michael, who drags him into the woods and slits his throat. Michael approaches his other self and poisons his mind against his friends. He tells them they would lock him up twice, and the second time he had to defend himself. He hands the key to the room to the other Michael, and later makes him burn his medicine. The half-dead Guy uses his blood to write the words, "Break the cycle," on a rock. We see the van once again at the gas station, and just as the cycle is about to restart, the movie ends with the injured Lila arriving to warn them. That's gonna wrap up this recap. We hope you've enjoyed it. If so, please click the subscribe button with notifications turned on so you don't miss a single video.